Yeah, go on.
Back, what's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another post-match fan show. Rennes 2, Tottenham 2 in our opening game of the Conference League group stages. I mean, the result is not too damaging, but the injuries, that's what's really going to be damaging, isn't it?
It's a tough evening, isn't it, on that front? I think the result and the performance wasn't entirely inspiring, although I would say we did well with what we had on the pitch to grab a draw in a difficult situation. I think it did show character to gain control of the game under the circumstances. I think Nuno did I think Nuno did the right thing in taking off Kane when he did, because with Bergwijn and Lucas suffering injuries, we couldn't afford to have another one.
And they were super aggressive, weren't they?
Yeah, and in a weird way, Lucas' injury forced Nuno's hand with having to take Kane off. So I think that was the reality in that situation. I think if Lucas didn't get that injury, I think they both would have stayed on in a weird way. But that's just reality. So I think in that sense, we did all right. But I just think those injuries were not worth the cost of the game. The cost of the result with those injuries is very detrimental to us, especially looking at Sunday when Son might not be fit, and Gil played 90 minutes, and it's to rely on him is going to be difficult. So it's a negative evening, unfortunately, on that sense.
It is,
I have to say.
It is, and like with the lineup that we chose tonight, that Nuno chose tonight. I mean, everyone liked that lineup that Nuno saw today. Everyone thought we would be on the front foot, playing attacking football with it, with a bit of creativity with Gil and Ndombele in there as well. I mean, first 15 minutes, it looked like that was going to happen, but then it just fell flat after that, didn't it?
It did. Rennes started being really aggressive. I don't know. It's a difficult question to answer, but it definitely fell flat after about 15 minutes again, a bit like on Saturday. First 20 minutes or so, we're looking aggressive and we're looking like we're trying to ask questions of the opposition. And then after 20 minutes, we kind of sit deep again and allow pressure onto us, and we'll become easy to play against. And that's what happened again today. I would say in the second half, we kind of took control back a bit. And especially after the subs for the last 15 minutes or so, we were the one more looking likely to get the third goal and more than Rennes. But let's be honest, we still didn't look very creative throughout the game. Even in the first half where we scored the goal, Ndombele was our best player for sure, but we still didn't, how many saves did the keeper make? How many times did we really look like we were going to score? Not too many. We were looking quite decent. Like Ndombele was looking creative and he was looking sharp, but we still didn't manoeuvre enough opportunities for us to get into goal scoring positions, and that was the worry.
And it's a worry with the players that we had on the pitch as well, because we had a strong team out there today against a Rennes side. All right, fine.
We did in the first half, not the second half.
Yeah, true, first half. But I'm talking about the first half in specific, really, because we look really good. Like I said, keeps happening. First 15 minutes of games, and we just can't seem to keep it up. And something keeps happening, and we're 15 minutes in where we revert to a very defensive team, and it's just so boring to watch at times. It really is, and we need to find a solution around this because we can't go on all season like this. We just can't. And we're gonna, end up dropping more points than we gain. But let's start going on to some guests, and let's start off with Brad Matthews.
Hi guys. Can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you.
You can't. Oh, you can't hear us.
I can now. Yeah, I can now.
Oh,
yeah,
you can.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
How you doing, Brad? Good evening to you, my friend.
Good evening, guys. I'm good, thank you. I'm on holiday this week, so.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, a little bit more relaxed than normal. Although after tonight, that relaxation sort of went out the window a little bit. But yeah, I just heard what you were saying about the first 15 minutes, and it's just a pattern that seems to happen in every Tottenham game, which I thought they got rid of this season. But it's come back in that we seem to control the first 10, 15 minutes, go the goal up, and it's like, okay, yeah, job done. Who fancies the pint, And then suddenly we allow the other team back in the game, and we can't seem to react against it. And I thought we were very, very lucky. I'm pleased with the draw. Don't get me wrong. I'll take the draw, but I think we were a bit lucky tonight. We just don't. We just need to attack quicker, take a chance, have a shot. It's really frustrating watching them. And Ndombele, I thought, considering he didn't really get given the ball that much, he had a pretty good game. But it's no use having him sitting in front of the back four asking for the ball. He's not going to do much damage there. Put him further up the pitch. It's frustrating.
The thing is, though, I get what you're saying, put him further up the pitch because he can provide that spark and creativity. But, I always felt that he's done his best work kind of deeper into the midfield, where we need that kind of player in the deeper of the midfield to provide that spark, to keep the ball moving, to beat a few men in the middle of the park, to really gain control of that midfield and have him deeper. So
to link defence to the attack, we have no link at the moment.
To link the defence and the attack as well, because we haven't had that for so long. And when we don't have a sort of creative player in that middle of the park, it does come just very same. No one can really do much. Skip, Deli, Højbjerg, they all do the same things in the middle of the park, sideways passes, and not much penetration. So I do feel Ndombele in that middle too does give us that.
I know what you're saying, but if you look at our midfield three for this season with Dele Alli in there, and then Dele Alli should be that player to connect the midfield and the attack. You put Ndombele further forward, he's going to create a lot more damage because he takes players on. It's no use him taking players on, in front of the back four. If he takes players on, if you take players on when you're further forward, then you take them out of the game. And we saw it with that brilliant 1-2 with Kane, where he almost got through and scored.
Yeah.
So I just think I personally anyway think he's wasted when he's playing sort of back.
Are we counting the cost tonight of maybe going for too strong a lineup at the beginning of the game with Bergwijn and Lucas suffering bad injuries that we're not sure if they're going to be fit for Sunday? But if they're out for Sunday, how damaging is that? Do you think?
Oh, very damaging. I mean, I was pleased to see Bergwijn play because I think he's very important to the team. I know he gets a lot of flack, but I think he's a very important player. He gets back, he helps out the right back and whatnot. And he gives that energy. We don't know how fit he was tonight. So if he wasn't 100% fit, then you could argue, well, maybe you shouldn't have played him. The problem was with tonight's game that it was probably the most difficult game we're going to have in this group. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw how it works out in this competition. If you win the group, you go straight into the quarterfinals. If you come second, then you have to go into a playoff to get to the quarterfinals. So winning the group is very important. And Rennes are going to be they're third favourites in the competition.
Yeah.
So you have to look on the prospect of, well, okay, we need to make more points or at least equal points out of our games with Rennes. So if we draw tonight and beat them at home, then we've gained points on them. And that's what I thought. That's why I thought he played the stronger team tonight. But yeah, I mean, you can't. You don't know that Lucas is going to get a bad injury. You can't plan for that, unfortunately. But I think
but you are risking it when you already know Son's injured as well on Sunday. You already know that. Bergwijn's only just came back from an injury. Was it not maybe a bit of a risk to
It was a risk, but then you have to look and see how important they're taking the competition.
Yeah.
So they're obviously taking it very important if they want to play the most difficult team in the group stage by putting a strong team in. And let's face it, if they'd have put a weak team in tonight and we'd have lost 2-0, 3-0, everyone would be moaning, "Oh, why didn't you play a stronger lineup?" So
I wouldn't.
I know you wouldn't, Sim. I know I'm a competition, Sim, so I know that. But that's fair enough. But I think that obviously we look to be taking the competition seriously. And also, you've got that feel-good factor of, although we didn't win, of winning the game going into the Chelsea game. But yeah, of course there are risks in it. Hey, that's modern football, isn't it?
What kind of front three? Let's say worst case scenario: Son, Bergwijn, and Lucas are all out for Sunday. Worst case scenario, it leaves with Gil and Kane as our only striking options. What do you do? What do you do for Sunday?
I would keep the midfield that's won the 3 games, which is Skip Højbjerg and Dele. And then you got front three, Kane, obviously, no Son, no Bergwijn, no Lucas. Then I guess you play Bryan Gil, who I thought did pretty well tonight, and Ndombele, and just have Kane as that top striker. I mean, I don't know if that will work. I can't think of any other alternative players to come in to play a system that way, unless you go all ultra defensive. But yeah, it's going to be difficult on Sunday. I'm starting to dread Sunday now, to be honest with you.
I was dreading it before.
Exactly. If you weren't dreading it before, you're definitely dreading it now. That's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
But look, any other standout performers for you today?
Talk about stand-up performance. I mean, I thought Bryan Gil did okay. Kane did slightly better than Saturday. But then, hey, I'll tell you what. One thing, Kane is due for a goal against Chelsea. He's overdue for a goal. So there's that one thing. I thought Bryan Gil did all right. Defence, Rodon and Tanganga did okay. I didn't like our fullbacks. I thought Doherty was absolutely woeful. When will he cross the ball first time? He gets in that position and he go cross it, and he doesn't. Even the time he did cross it first time, it was a rubbish cross, but we got the deflection and got the goal. But I thought, I think Bryan Gil showed moments tonight that okay, he's young, he's never played in the Premiership before, and again tonight was a European game, not a Premiership game. He looks that he could be okay if you sort of don't play him all the time and monitor his performances and that. He moves the ball on quickly, which we lacked tonight. We just don't move it on quickly enough. And we saw with Rennes, when they got the ball, they attacked us quickly and we were in trouble. So yeah, that's my feelings.
I completely get what you're saying on Doherty, and that was one of his better games in a Spurs shirt as well tonight. Saying something, isn't it?
His crossing ability is woeful. It's just really woeful. He actually had time and space many times today to cross the ball, and he just still couldn't get a good ball in. He just couldn't do it.
I had to feel sorry. I would have loved Dane Scarlett to have scored a winner tonight, and that was a great cross from Gil, and he just headed it wide. That was the moment that you sort of think, this is it, But yeah, he's only young. He's going to have a lot of time to sort of get into the game and that sort of thing. But the only one thing I will say, guys, is that Winks didn't play tonight. He's on the bench. Do you think that's why he's been rested for Sunday?
Oh, don't say that.
God, don't do that, Brad, man. Don't do that.
Sorry.
That was ominous.
Sim's got a slight smile with that, though.
Winks, man of the match performance. Maybe we'll play Emerson on right wing again on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe Dane Scarlett. Maybe Dane Scarlett's time to shine this Sunday. Who knows?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Emerson, I think, Well, you're going to have Emerson and Reguilon as your fullbacks on Sunday. There's no other way of doing it, really.
Yeah,
Emerson looks like he might be okay. He seems to get forward and that sort of thing. Even he went down in the heat.
about 3 or 4 times.
I know.
But anyway, Brad, absolute pleasure as always, my friend. We'll see you next time, hopefully after 3 points.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Have a good night.
And to you, mate.
You too, Brad. Nice to see you.
Spurs.
Cheers. Got a super chat here from Joey S saying, another manager being sold short in the transfer window. One striker at the club is a disgrace. Clubs in the league, not even in Europe, with 2 strikers. And I completely agree.
Yeah, and it shows how reliant we are on Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. It's just a joke how reliant we are on those 2 players, and it also goes back to a lack of attacking structure as well. Why we're so reliant on them, because the other players don't seem to be able to up their game or know what to do in an attacking way without Kane or Son's lead. But it's very worrying at the moment.
So worrying. Let's go on to our next guest, who is Joe Angus.
Hey guys, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Evening, Joe.
I'm alright. I was thinking this game, first half I preferred to second half. Honestly, I was getting excited towards when we were attacking, but then with Doherty right back, I was getting worried, obviously, when they came to attack us. And with the 2 conceded goals, well, I was right to be worried about Doherty. And, the injury list mounts. Every time a player went down, I sort of got worried that he injured. I was dreading Emerson. He was always down. I was dreading that he might be injured after coming on. But I think it was an okay performance overall. I think we should be glad to have that draw, really.
Yeah. I mean, it was okay, but I mean, with the players on the pitch today, we need to be showing us so much more adventure and so much more creativity. Why is that not happening on the pitch?
Well, maybe because Kane's heart isn't really at the club, or that's what it's looking like to me, because he did that big campaign, just trying to leave, trying to get to Manchester City, and maybe his heart internally, maybe subconsciously even, his heart has moved on, maybe without him realising it. Maybe that could be affecting his performances overall. And without Son and Lo Celso and Sessegnon available, creativity can lack for those reasons as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult at the moment to really pinpoint how, even with the players on the pitch, why we're seemingly struggling to create chances. But in terms of balancing out, good point in a Conference League compared to, injuries mounting in the Premier League and how we're going to be leaving ourselves short on Sunday. Was the draw worth it tonight, putting out that kind of team for the injuries we got?
Well, we've gained 2 more injuries off that, so I'm going to say the draw wasn't worth it for losing a very important attacker in Lucas Moura and another very important attacker in Steven Bergwijn. Like, if you had on a table, option A is draw or win the game, or option B being not losing Moura and Bergwijn, I'd take option B because they're so important players.
Yeah, completely right. And what kind of attacking lineup are we going to put out on the weekend? Bergwijn probably out, Son may be out, Moura's probably out. I mean, who's going to play?
Well, Lo Celso, Sanchez and Romero, they'll be back from Croatia the day before on the Saturday. You could just start Lo Celso out on that right-hand side or in a number 10 position in a 4-2-3-1. Or would that be too soon to play him?
Who knows?
It's difficult to say because, maybe to play one of them, maybe 2 of them, but for 3 of them to play, not knowing if they're match fit or not, I'm going to say it's a risk, but it's a risk whatever we do because we just don't have enough personnel, do we?
Yeah, and now Moura and Bergwijn gone. We don't have Tanganga because of the red card, so he's suspended for the Premier League. So who are we going to put centre-back?
Yeah, did Rodon convince you tonight?
Rodon, he was okay. He made a couple of mistakes, though.
I think coming up against Lukaku is a different kettle of fish, though, isn't it?
You can say that.
Yeah, a really tactical centre forward, really big, physical. I think for Rodon, he's not really bulky enough physically to deal with Lukaku. He might get pushed around a lot.
That's what I'm worried about. He needs Romero's aggression to kind of get the ball before it gets to Lukaku. That was what he was so good at last season, Romero, when they played against each other. What did you think of Galini today?
Galini,
some people
he didn't convince me.
Do you blame him for the second goal?
There's nothing he could do for the second goal because he made an okay save for the first shot, but then the ball fell. It's really a lottery when you have a rebound off a goalkeeper because the ball could fall to one of your own players, it could fall to an opposition player, and I think we were quite unlucky that it fell to a Rennes striker. And well, Galini's distribution wasn't the best tonight. His passing, he lost the ball a couple of times from passes. He made a couple of good saves, but overall he didn't convince me, and I think we should go back to playing Hugo for Chelsea.
I'm sure we will. Sure we will.
And in terms of Ndombele, for you, was that a breath of fresh air having him back in the squad, or did he not do enough for you off the ball?
Well, I've rated the players myself, and I've given him the highest rating. And I was excited seeing him on the ball and seeing how he drove forward, ran at players, put those through balls through forward, look as if he was trying to create goal-scoring opportunities. And I think it was exciting to watch. We were a breath of fresh air out on that pitch. That's what we've been missing in terms of creativity slightly. I think we will need Son and Lo Celso and Sessegnon back, and of course Mora and Bergwijn, just to have that depth and creativity in the side. But with Dele, he didn't really do anything for me. He was a bit poor off the bench, didn't create, he made a few mistakes, and I wasn't convinced by Dele Alli again.
All right, Joe, absolute pleasure as always, mate. Thanks for calling in, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, that was Joe. Another brilliant call. Thank you for that. But I get what he's saying. I mean, he was a real breath of fresh air today, wasn't he, Tanguy?
He was, and he's literally showed, especially even in the first 10 minutes of the game, he showed exactly why we need him in the team. He's the only player so far who's been able to effectively get from the middle of the pitch to the final third, like on a consistent basis, and do it like in a way which is dangerous. And the other players just don't seem to be able to do that. He's the only player, literally, even if it's once a game, literally, Skip Højbjerg and Dele didn't do it once. And that's what he can bring. And if we can get the best out of him, get his fitness up, we know how good he can be. So we need to get him in the team. We just have to get him in the 11.
100%. Who's next? Rishabh, if you can turn your camera on, then we can get you on. All right, let's get him on. Rishabh, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yes, very good, thank you. Very good, thank you. Thanks for calling. Is this your first time calling in?
In fact, it's my second time on the channel. I took a break and then I renewed my membership. So yeah, glad to be back.
Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. Thank you so much. What did you make out of the game today? What were your standout moments?
Man, I'm definitely not happy. I mean, after watching this game, we won our first 3 games, and then after that losing to Crystal Palace and then a draw. Those goals were gifted to us. I mean, they scored 2 goals from open play and then we couldn't do much. So we need some creativity to happen. I mean, I'm glad at least Tanguy played for 70 minutes. But then the funny thing was he was moved up the pitch. He started playing more along with Harry Kane and Lucas up in front. And then his impact on the game declined because he was just without the ball. The guy, when he has the ball, makes the best out of it. But if you leave him without the ball, what can he do? I mean, I don't get it. You bring Højbjerg and then you push him up in front. In fact, what I would have liked to see in the game was he could have stayed back and Højbjerg could have switched with him a couple of times and moved those forward runs, because Højbjerg is kind of fast on the ball than Ndombele because he can recover. So I would have rather had Højbjerg do the running and Tanguy act like a playmaker or do something creative.
When you look at the performance and result overall, is it more a good point the fact that we were able to gain control back at the end of the game, and with the going 2-1 down with Scarlett, Gil, and Emerson as our front three? Do you give the team credit for being able to come back in that situation and get a draw and show a bit of character, or do you look at the game and think again we still didn't create too many chances and again it was a performance that wasn't so inspiring?
It was good to see them on the field, but they did not really do much. I like the fact Brian Gill was trying to make an impact on the game. He was at least it showed that the guy wanted to do something when he had the ball. But I think he need more games in order to be more positive and create something. But he definitely has the potential. When it comes to Emerson Royal, I mean, he doesn't look like a 25 million player, does he? I mean, if you see him, it looks like as if a midfielder is running as a right back. You know, that's the kind of feeling I had with him, because he was so bad with his crosses, and then he never gave up the ball, which is a good sign. But I would like to see more from him. I mean, they all need more games. I think it's his second game, so we should give him some time.
In terms of our attacking options, Steven Bergwijn going off injured, Lucas Moura going off injured. I mean, what sort of lineup are we going to have to play against Chelsea on the weekend?
Yeah, I think they are going to play. It is just that maybe they skipped training this week and maybe thought of this game as a warm up or something. And maybe whenever they felt like, Nuno must have had this fear that this guy might get injured. So let's finish him and let me bring other players to warm up. So yeah,
they look pretty hurt to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we need our players. We need our best players on the pitch. You see, if you take off Son from the team, I mean, there is hardly any attack happening, because he was the most creative, even though he's on the attack all the time, playing on the wings, but he adds so much to the team. If you just take Son off the team, I mean, Harry Kane is not at his best. And he needs someone to, create something for him. The guy on his own, so we have so much defense in our team, right? You make Dele a defender, he's not even attacking, and then Harry Kane is also defending with them. So who is going to score the goals if you take Son off? I mean, I'm more worried about. I want Son back in our team as soon as possible, because he is the one who creates most of the difference, and he is going to win us matches. And it's worrying if you get Lucas injured too. Then who is going to do the running? Right?
Yeah, Rishabh. Let me ask you this, Rishabh. If Lucas, Son, and Bergwijn are all out for Sunday, who are you starting up front?
That's a good question. Who would I start? So Kane is going to start.
Kane
is going to start for sure.
Hill's got to be one.
Yeah, he's going to play again, because I don't want to see Dele on the wings.
Well, if you don't want to see Dele on the wing, who else is left?
Well, that's something to. I mean, I think that's.
Should we just go with 10 men, Rishabh? I think.
Well, I mean, Dane Scarlett can play there. No, not really. Dane Scarlett maybe can fill in. Giovanni Lo Celso can maybe fill in.
Oh, yeah. Lo Celso.
Jack Clark. You want to see Jack Clark there against Chelsea?
Yeah, for sure. Why not? Is he still available? Can he play, or is he on loan?
No,
he's
here.
Available. Yeah, he's here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wish them back. I mean, I can't see us without them, because the 4-3-3 kind of formation we are playing. I mean, we need our best players.
Yeah, completely agree. But
It's going to be difficult. Yeah,
it's going to be very difficult this weekend. Are you looking forward to it on the weekend?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't miss. Yeah.
You're probably the only one, Rishabh. But Rishabh, thank you so much for coming on, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, my pleasure. Cheers. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
All right. Do we have anyone else waiting? No. All right.
No.
I'm going to open it up to the public. All right. Just bear with me a second. What?
New member. Oh, you got a new member, Victor Mathiasen. Welcome, Victor. Welcome to the family. Thank you very much for joining as a member. Jump on if you want. Let's speak to us. Speak to us about our 2-2 draw in the Conference League against Rennes. Yeah, it's difficult. There are positives to take from the side. Only the fact that the team did I think they pulled together a bit under difficult circumstances in the second half. And they did get a decent result in trying conditions, but unfortunately, it's just was too difficult with those injuries to be too positive about it. Because I think, unfortunately, the priority for me is the Premier League, and I think by starting such a strong team tonight, we've hampered our chances of being in of getting results in the Premier League. And this is part of the reason that this happening was why I didn't want to take this competition too seriously, because you're risking too much when you got more important priorities. And now we're in a situation where we risk not winning both games now.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
it was a risk
difficult.
anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, but with injuries.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that even if we played a really weak team out there, we still is a massive risk to get the 3
Yeah, it's
points
true.
on the weekend.
But at least you want to give yourself a fighting chance on Sunday.
Of course. So
wanna
I
give
mean, it's
yourself a fighting
difficult. It's a
chance.
difficult situation we're in, and injuries are just mounting up, and every single player that goes down now, you've got like anxiety that they're going to be out for so long. I mean, you've got it all started off with the 3 quarantine players, and it all just went from bad to worse.
Literally, ever since that happened, it's all gone to shit pretty much.
really
Ever
has.
since that happened, and I do feel for Nuno yet again in another game, a bit like Palace. Like, yes, he can be blamed for a lack of creativity, but again, circumstances went against him.
But at least, as opposed to the Crystal Palace game where he started it all wrong, I think today actually he picked the right lineup in terms of a lineup to go out there and attack and to win the game. Whether you thought we should be risking these players or not is irrelevant. He put the right lineup today, and then it went wrong for him within the game again.
Yeah, and again, a bit like Saturday where Dyer got injured and then we got a red card and all this stuff. Again, Bergwijn gets injured and Lucas gets injured, and the Lucas injury forces him to take off Kane as well. And again, all just conspired against him.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking good up until the Bergwijn injury really today, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were okay. Up until the Bergwijn injury, and again, it all started to go wrong. So I can't, again, as much as people get on Nuno's back for us not looking creative, I just feel for him that it keeps going against him like massively in game and out of his control for reasons not in his control. Yes, he can do more about stuff that is in control, but there are things happening that are out of his control which are really hurting us, and that's a shame.
All right, let's bring on 6 Yard Box, who's waiting to come on and talk to us. Mr. 6 Yard Box, how are you, my friend?
Can't hear him. Oh, I can hear him. I can hear him. Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear him. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, boys, are you all right?
Yeah, all good, mate. And you?
I'm depressed, man.
Sorry to laugh.
I need something to wake me up.
Are you depressed by the result or the injuries or both?
Both, man. Both, to be honest, man. It's like I need a shrink or something, to be honest, and I'm just.
What's troubling you? What's troubling you? Let's see if we can help.
This is your Tottenham therapy now. Your clock's on.
Therapy,
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, basically, I think it's just the injuries. That's the key for me. The injuries, man. Hopefully it's not that bad because we don't know what the diagnoses are yet for both players. So hopefully, at least we can get one of them playing. At least maybe Bergwijn. Lucas, that one looks really bad because the guy just fell on top of his leg.
Yeah.
The guy fell on his ankle and it looks really bad. But hopefully we can get one of them playing. So I think that's the result. Is I'm okay with the result because any game you play in Europe is always very tough. It's very difficult. I think because we don't watch those teams play regularly every week, we sometimes we underestimate them. So I think that's sometimes we think we can just go over and just roll teams over. But today it was difficult for the manager in terms of picking his team. I know what he wanted to do earlier by picking a strong team. He wanted to go there and maybe smash them like 4-0 and then start resting players. But that don't work out in football sometimes. So I know, but I like what he did by taking off Kane because it was like that film Saving Private Ryan. They had to rescue the one member of the family left. So they just had to take.
The only one we have left.
The only one we have left. You don't have to take him off. So yeah. So I think I'm with the manager. I'm with the manager on that one. But it was.
But
so
would you have started with
difficult.
such a strong team today?
Yeah, me, I would, because what's the point? We're in a competition. We've never won a cup in 5 million years. We need to win something, We need to win something. So I'm okay with the manager because I was thinking maybe instead of Kane, maybe play Scarlett instead with the same team and then see how it goes, because we got to play Scarlett with a little bit of a strong team so he can basically get his goals, get his confidence going with people that can create stuff around him. Ndombele for me is a 10. He can't play as a midfielder. He can't sit. He can't track anybody. I think he's just a 10. Play him as a 10. Let him go and do his leg overs, get penalties, free kicks or whatever. because we can't trust him as a defensive midfielder or center midfielder because he just lets the game. Tracking back is so poor. He's just a 10. I think until we accept that, we have to play him as a 10. We can't play him anywhere like in midfield. I don't think we can do that. So, and I think we miss Eriksen so bad, man. That's the kind of player we need in this team. Today, everything was just going to fit. Everything was going to fit. And I was shouting, just go long for once. There's a lot of space behind them as well. When they came out to come and play, because when they scored, they were like, oh, we could actually beat Tottenham. Let's go for it. So there was a lot. There was a lot of space behind them. But we never did go. We never did go behind. We never go behind them, and I think that was the problem, which Son always gives us as well.
Yeah, but do you think going into the last 25 minutes, we conceded with a goal 20 minutes to go, make it 2-1 to Rennes. They're on top of us. We have Emerson, Gil, and then Scarlett as our front three. But we did kind of rally a bit. We did pull together. We did end up getting a goal and end up getting the result. Do you think it showed good character, the way it ended?
Yeah, it's always in football. You never give up. Never give up. Even people are saying Chelsea game is a write-off. Me, I'm a kind of person. I'm always very positive as well. So you never give up. Man City, nobody gave us a chance.
Can't have been supporting Tottenham for too long then.
Yeah, I must be deluded or something. But the thing is, you never give up. You never give up. Chelsea are going to be so confident. They're going to be like, we're just going to come in. Lukaku. We have to put somebody in front of him. You can't let him be getting balls to fit. He's going to bully our defenders, our centre back. So Skip is going to be very, very, very clever and very disciplined to sit in front of Lukaku with Højbjerg. Just make that middle a little bit compact and just make sure we don't let the ball get to him. But Matt Doherty, man, come on, man. Oh God, I'm going to be praying for that brother, man. I'm definitely going to pray for him.
That was one of his better performances today.
Yeah, you see, the cross he made as well for the goal. The cross he made was shocking.
Lucky.
I was cussing him, and when I saw the ball go through, I was like, "Oh, maybe he meant it," but no, he didn't mean it. Well, he was, he was. I don't know what's wrong with him. He needs. I don't like bashing players because I know they don't want to play bad. But I think he just needs to just get one good game under his belt, and I think maybe that will help him to push on. But we just have to pray that at least one of them is back. Bergwijn or Lucas, and then get the boys on holiday. Get them playing. One of them has to play as well, or even both of them, because we are short of bodies.
Or even all three of them.
All three of them, yeah.
I want to know your opinion on Emerson Royale, because I've heard a lot of kind of mixed reviews about what they've seen from him so far. So, I mean, against Palace, Zaha really gave him a torrid time, but I still heard a few positive talks about him from that game. And on this game as well, how are you looking at him so far? Is he the answer to our right-back problems?
I think Emerson, we got to give him time. Anybody against Zaha is going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult. Anybody you play against him, and that was like I wouldn't have played him in that game because he was just. But he tried. The first 15 minutes it was okay, but we got to give him time. These players. I think sometimes we as fans we are too quick to judge players. We just want them to do well. And I understand sometimes, they play a bad game. One game they are good, yay! The next game they are rubbish, woo! So I know it's difficult. We just go. Sometimes, I normally give players maybe 5 to 10 games sometimes, just to let them settle in, And it depends on the people playing around them as well. Sometimes, you get the best out of them as well. So I think just give him some time. He looks good going forward, but the Premier League is so tough. He's so tough. He's got the pace, but I think he should come good. I think he's still better than Doherty anyway. So
who isn't? I'm better than Doherty. I can fill in the right back better than Doherty.
I think we should get you in there then.
You can fill in the right back better than Doherty do, don't you?
I just pray because we need him. We need him because we can't have two rubbish right backs, and we need him
definitely true
to step up and really come to the party as well. So yeah.
All right.
We just have to pray.
Definitely. I'll be praying with you tonight and every night up until the Chelsea game. But thanks to you so much for coming on, my friend. And
thank you,
boys. We'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks. Cheers. Take care.
Cheers for coming on, mate.
Bye.
Brilliant, cool. That guy's so funny. I love that guy. He's
Love
so
it. Love
good.
it when
And
he
you should
comes on.
all go subscribe to his channel as well. Brilliant, brilliant content over there. Let's bring on Victor.
Victor Matthijssen.
Victor, you are.
Oh, there you go. He's
You
back.
are our latest member, so welcome to the We Are Tottenham family, my friend. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
We can hear you well.
loud and clear.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from?
Sweden.
Sweden.
Okay.
Nice.
I've never seen a Swedish member on the channel, so I thought I would be the first if I'm
Represent.
not.
You're
Yeah,
our,
well,
you're
Sweden
our
representing.
honorary Swedish member. How are you?
I'm woeful, to be real. Come on.
Yeah, what do you make out of performance in general?
Well, okay. Let's start with the positives. I think Ndombele played a really solid game. It wasn't his best. It was far from his worst. It was a really solid game, and think of it as Ndombele not playing a single game for I don't know how long, and actually having a really strong performance.
Yeah.
And that's what we need coming Saturday, and that's about the only positive I have. No, well, the center backs was good. The center backs was good. I'll give him that, and that's a really young center back pairing with not much experience in the Tottenham shirt. To be real, Tanganga had a really good right back showing all season so far, but Rodon, not having played, not barely anything for 10 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Was really good. So I'm positive about the central of defense, and actually the midfield. I thought actually Skip was probably the one struggling the most. So
Interesting.
but he's young, so he looked running around a lot, little bit like Jill was, not really knowing what to do. I was mainly disappointed with Doherty. I thought he would also likewise end on Belly having the time to show what he can bring, but he actually brought nothing.
As
He
always, man.
literally brought nothing.
He provided the cross for the goal.
He almost missed the ball and it deflected. So no, I won't even give him that. It was horrendous. Actually, I think for a regular, because Doherty is a regular, he's playing every other week in cup games. He's probably the worst right back in Premier League right now.
Wow.
That gets regular starting time.
Yeah, and as I keep saying, that was one of his better performances today.
Yeah, that says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that was horrendous, really horrendous.
But what is it about this creativity in the team? Because we had Hill there, we had Ndombele there. I mean, why are we still struggling in games?
I think it has a lot to do with the pressing actually.
Okay.
I think we're waiting too much to get the ball. No one is, as a unit, as I speak about a 3-man unit, pressing, getting the ball, because every time we get the ball, the other team is already like a collective. They have already backed off. They're already close to spaces. I don't really think it's a distribution thing. I think it's a pressing thing. We're playing as if we're a really high pressing team, and we are trying, but it's only one at a time. Jill is running like a maniac, and then 2 minutes later, Lucas is running like a maniac. But they're not doing it collectively. They're not doing it as a team. And I don't think it's the individual performances. I don't think it's the effort. I think it's the team as a collective that is not doing it as a one cohesive unit.
Yeah.
Because when we get the ball, yeah. And I don't think it's Nuno either. I don't think it's tactical. I just think it's too many rough diamonds trying to do what they can do, but they have not played enough together.
Surely that is a Nuno issue then, because he should be coaching that into them. Surely.
Yeah, and those he has been coaching to do a really good job is in Croatia right now.
Yeah, I know.
And that just adds to the like lack of solidity going forward. Because defensively, well, I think Davis had a really good game, and you have to take in consideration that he plays almost never, and when he does, except for that handball, it's pretty solid. It's never woeful, but it's never a star performance either. So,
Standard Ben Davis, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, he's a squad player, and he's a decent squad player. It's not worth selling him and getting 3 million. Like keep him in the team to play these games, and do a rather solid performance. But Doherty, my God, I was at one time this game I was counting every like forward pass he made, and until he made a run himself, he made 0 passes. It was like he got the ball, he literally took 2 steps forward and then just halted and passed backwards. Yeah. And that was just repeat. And he had probably, well, definitely the most space of everyone to do something. Yeah. And that tells me how bad that is. Because if Kane, Son, Bergwijn, Mora, anyone had that amount of space, things would happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like Rennes it's Doherty, just leave him be. He can't do anything. Just give him the space and we close down others, and it worked.
Wouldn't you do that if you were the opposition manager as well? I mean, it's easy to play against Tottenham, especially when Doherty and Winks are in the team, isn't it? I mean,
we're one man down from the start.
Literally. And you talking about men down, Mora injured today, Bergwijn injured today. I mean, how much are you looking forward to this Chelsea game now?
Well, I thought the first games until injury, Bergwijn was really good. I think he really had stepped up a notch. Not maybe in end product, but in every other aspect, like the pressing, the dribbling, the one-on-ones. He was so good. And likewise with Mora. Like Mora has always lacked the quality, but I'm a member of the Mora sexual club. Definitely. I think he has been the most consistent member, part maybe Tanganga and Højbjerg, in our squad this season. And those two, it will. Oh my God, we will have to like park the bus on Saturday. I think.
What kind of front line? What kind of front line are you expecting to play on Sunday?
Well, I think I've written this in super chats before, but I think in the best of circumstances we play Skip and Højbjerg, or maybe Højbjerg and Ndombele behind Kane in a midfield 3. I think Kane should play like a center forward, swapping places like he does, but with a fast, aggressive front 3, like with Bergwijn, Lucas, maybe Scarlett, but like Son, of course, should be in there with those 3. And now we potentially have almost no one. Like we don't have Lucas, we don't have Bergwijn, we don't have Son. So who do we stick up there? Scarlett?
That's I'm asking you. What's our front 3 on Sunday? Let's say then 3 are out. Who do we play?
You're asking me the impossible questions.
That's what we do.
Don't have a front 3. We don't have a front 3.
Well, you have to play. You have to pick 3. You have to pick 3 players.
All right, who's left? Maybe Jill, Clark, Kane. Do we have anyone else?
Lo Celso, maybe, if he can play, maybe.
Yeah, I think Lo Celso, but I think we're like forced to play a diamond actually.
Yeah.
Who else do we play on the right wing? Emerson.
That could be. I think that could be a disaster against that wide system of Chelsea who really use those wing backs.
Yeah.
I think a diamond could be a real disaster in that game.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go 5 at the back, surely. We're going to have to go 5 at the back, I think.
But
maybe
who do you play as the aggressive wingbacks? Emerson
and Reguilon, you have to. And then play Rodin, Sanchez, Romero in a 3, and then Højbjerg and Skip in the centre.
Yeah.
And Ndombele, those 3.
I agree.
With Kane and Hill up front. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I agree. Well,
Tough
actually,
one.
I'm the most disappointed in what I expected of the game, because I think people had a woeful, especially Doherty, but Jill, he had 2 bright moments, and otherwise he was mostly just running around, not really knowing what to do, and that was a bit disappointing against. Well, Rennes is at tops. It's not a top 10 team in the Premier League. It's a team with lack of solidity, and their start of the season has been really poor. So I thought he would shine, but he really didn't. And against Chelsea, I don't think he should start. I think he should come on against tired legs, and should play like maybe. Yeah, well, we don't have anyone else. Maybe
you're taking one more player away. I mean, may as well start the game with 10 men.
Well, we don't have any. Like the second striker, the Vinicius of last year, would have brought more than Jill or anyone else with the physicality to lock down one, maybe two players at a time. Every time he gets the ball, he was tall, he was physical, he created space. He wasn't doing much in the final third, I thought, because he was only doing stuff against the opposition.
Yeah.
Do you kind of feel sorry for Nuno in a sense that ever since 3 out of 3 wins before the international break, and ever since those guys have gone over to Croatia, they've been ruled out. Then and then they come back, and Dyer's been injured, and Tanganga got a red card, and tonight Bergwijn's got injured, and Lucas has got injured. Like, it's never ending for him, is it?
Yeah, for sure. Like Nuno started really well against City. I thought that was a really highlight game. It was so good. And then the injuries, the troubles, everything just started like chipping away at the team. And as all the Swedish commentary said, like Nuno likes to play the same 11 over and over again and just swapping 1 or 2 players tops per game. And I think he wants to do that still. But he's forced. The injuries and the quarantines forces his hand to just go out of his comfort zone. And I think if he had the tools, we would have won this game 3-1, 3-0. I think if we had Romero and Sanchez, I don't blame the center backs, but those two are 2 really aggressive center backs. Like Sanchez, I'm a really Sanchez sexual club fan member as well. But if
how long have you been a member there?
Since he came, basically.
Wow.
I think he has the highest highs of all our center backs, par maybe Romero, because when he's good, he is outstandingly good.
Yeah.
But when he's bad, he is horrible. Like those games, he had like half a mistake tops per game. He was man of the match, like many games in my eyes.
Yeah. But
his mistakes always faults him. And if we could have 2 really aggressive, high up the pitch centre backs with our regular wing backs this game, we would have ran them over. I really think that, because Rodon and Tanganga are solid defensively, but they are not as good like playing the high pressure, and the distribution I don't think is good enough. Like the Sanchez distribution, the first 2 games was immaculate. It was Alderweireld-esque when he was at his best, and I think we need that kind of solidity all the way back to have this high press, which I think we're trying to do. Because once again, I think that it's the pressing. We press high and we spread our team out wide. We open spaces behind, or we are trying to overload one side, and then we just leave too much space because the pressing is trying to get there, but it's too bad. It's not. The pressing hasn't got its quality yet as a unit.
All right, Victor. Absolutely brilliant call. Thank you for calling in, man. And hopefully we'll get to speak to you soon.
Yeah, I will. I've been following you. I've watched every single video for the last 2 years, and I thought it was maybe time to become a member. So
glad to have you.
We hear about you. Yeah, thank you. Sweden representing. Come on,
thank you.
Skål.
Skål.
See you later.
Yeah.
Nice one.
All right, that was actually a really brilliant call there from a brand new member. And let's bring on the next guest, who is Alec. Alec Zingel. How are you doing, Alec?
Oh, is he on mute?
No.
I think you're on mute.
There you go.
There you go. How you doing, Alec?
Can't complain, guys. Well, I can complain.
Yeah, complain away, mate. I'm sure there's enough to complain about.
Man, I've got a lot of issues with Doherty, which I think everyone does, but I hate watching him play. I just can't stand it. But I think we're struggling, and I know we struggle with creativity. and then Ndombele was supposed to fix that problem, but there are a few bright moments in that, and then he kind of dies off. I don't know if it's because he's just not match fit ready or what the problem is, but I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? I mean, it's hard for me to watch sometimes. And when he started playing, I was like, okay, cool. Like, he's going to do something different. You know, we needed this. But, you know, I don't know if it was Kane just disappearing or just not being there or what, but we were just struggling out. It's really frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I mean, for the first 15, 20 minutes, we did look okay, and Ndombele was looking creative, and we got that goal, and there was a really good team goal as well we got, apart from obviously the bit of luck we got at the end. It was a really good piece of team move to get into the position that we got. And then after the goal we scored, it's just a very similar story to a lot of what's happened early in the season. Similar story to what happened against Wolves, similar story to what happened against Palace, and a similar story again today. Starting off pretty decent, and then we just sit back. Either we get an early goal or we don't. We sit back, invite the pressure, we stop pressing, we stop being aggressive, and we see control of the game. And it happened a lot under Mourinho, and it happened, and it's happening a lot now under Nuno. So it's a very difficult issue to. I think Victor was very right in his assessment that the pressing as a team, the structural pressing, it was very good against Man City, but it hasn't kind of been at that level since then, really. And I think still we got a lot of issues with people maybe either not doing their jobs or not knowing how to press as a team properly just of yet. And we know under Poch it took a while, you know, to get that pressing structure correct. It took almost over a year really, to get that pressing structure correct. So whether maybe it's just a case we have to be patient, but it's difficult to put your finger on exactly the reason why it keeps happening.
Yeah, I hate that we keep saying Man City, but like I feel like we did that and that was great. Like I feel like we should have played that way with Man City. But now we're trying to do that with every other team, like Crystal Palace, and we should be on the more offensive. And it bugs me because, you know, we do one good thing and then now Nuno's trying to do the same thing. And I'm sorry, but I do not like how Dele's playing. I don't think it's helping at all. Like I feel like having, you know, Højbjerg and Skip and Dele, they're all the same player. No one has that creativity. So, like, if you were to put Ndombele next to Højbjerg, what is Skip going to do then? Like, I would like those three to be there, but Dele can't be there either. Like, I feel like it's a hard thing. Like, our midfield's so hard to pick the right team because it's just not working. Like, I guess Højbjerg and Skip are doing really well, but outside of that, where's the creativity coming from? It's not Dele. And in Chelsea, are we going to put Dele out wide? I don't want to put Dele out wide. I mean, it's hard.
What choices? I don't think Dele will play out wide against Chelsea, but I mean, what choices do we have? I mean, since the international break, since the three players are stuck in quarantine in Croatia, I mean, it's gone from bad to worse. I mean, our players are dropping like flies. I mean, what can we do on the weekend?
I can tell you what we're not doing. If we put Emerson out wide again, that's not gonna be good.
Would you rather Doherty there?
Oh God, no. Lo Celso, I guess. Lo Celso and Brian. I mean, who else are you gonna put up there?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even. Who else are you gonna put up? Clark? You know, like against Chelsea. Like I don't really know who else you'd put up there. I feel like Lo Celso is the most sensible with Brian. I mean, that's the best we can do.
It is the best.
And
we
I was
can do.
I think we go 5-3-2. 5-3-2. I would do on Sunday. Just try and contain Chelsea as much as we can.
Yeah, and then who's going to play center back? I mean, are you going to put Sanchez or Romero on Lukaku? I would imagine Romero because he has experience. I don't know.
Gonna have to.
We're going to have to put... But I think those two are the ones that we have to go for, in my opinion. But to be honest, we've got so much more bigger problems that who's going to play at centre-back on the weekend. So many
even
more
though
bigger
that's a big
problems.
problem.
Even though it is a big problem.
Yeah.
But we've got so many more bigger problems.
Yeah, like, just whatever. Sanchez and Rodon, like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Sanchez, Rodon, Dyer, whatever. Just play two of them. Can we bring in an emergency loan or an emergency signing or something? We need someone to play
It's getting to a stage where Sturridge is on a free right now. Like I'm looking at Sturridge right now. He's on a free. I'm just like, can you play one game? Can I get one game out of you, Daniel Sturridge?
I'd rather have Peter Crouch. Just throw him back on.
Honestly, lump the ball to Crouchy.
He doesn't have a club, so why not bring him in?
Yeah,
but you know,
the ball over.
Get Defoe on an emergency loan.
You can't stop thinking back to the transfer window, to last transfer window, to the transfer window before. You know what I mean? Like, as much as everyone wants to blame Nuno, as much as everyone wants to blame the individual players, I mean, it all just goes back to one man, and doesn't it? Daniel Levy.
Oh God, yeah. We just don't ever sign people. Like, we don't sign replacements. Like, I don't know. It's so frustrating. We haven't had an Ericsson since he left. And we tried with Lo Celso, and maybe he'll become that person. But it's ever since Poch left. I mean, I feel like every manager that we've got has been. It seems like it's been ultra defensive, and that's like the complete opposite of what we were used to when we got into the Champions League final. And it's, you know, like I want to enjoy watching again. You know, like we score a goal, like you guys were saying, score a goal, and then like, all right, cool, that's it. Let's just let's end the game here, and then they end up scoring. We can't come back, and it's frustrating. But I feel like that's where we're at now, and where we've been for years, and since Poch left. So
I mean,
we'll
look,
see. Hopefully, we sign a replacement striker.
This club has been acting the same way for a long time, and Daniel Levy and Tottenham and us were very lucky that Pochettino came in and overachieved for so many years. We were lucky, and we were lucky that he nurtured that team to what it was. You know, we've never replaced Moussa Dembele, we've never replaced Kyle Walker, we've never replaced a kind of backup striker apart from Vinicius on loan last year. We've never replaced Kyle Walker properly either. So I mean, if you don't replace your top players, you're not going to carry on being a top team. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, I don't understand what Levy is. I don't know. I can't understand his logic other than like saving the buck. But it's sad because we were like competing top four, and then we missed the mark last season, and we don't get players like Koundé and Torres, all these players, because we don't Champions League, and it's sad because we were there, and then. Now we're not. Now we're in the Conference League.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
in the Conference League as well.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Alex, thank you so much for calling in today, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Cheers, Alex.
I appreciate it. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks for calling in. That was a good call as well.
Very good call. Very good calls today, and the good calls don't stop because we got Bob Spur TV coming on next. Come on, another one in his car. Bob, where are you coming from?
I'm working. I'm currently officially still working. So
live on YouTube.
Yeah, man. That's it.
What are we paying you? Are we? News to me. Okay.
I had a 2-hour break between 5:45 and something like that. So
I wonder what that was for.
Yeah, no.
What did you make out of it today?
It's a combination, isn't it? We've got players out of form, lack of confidence. Players who aren't good enough, the wrong system. I don't want to say wrong manager because it is that bandwagon that everyone seems to be jumping on, but he's not helping. I was taking calls while I was watching. I'm trying to work out what was the reason for Kane to go off after 8 minutes in the second half.
It wasn't an injury. Basically, Lucas got injured. And I saw him having a long conversation with Kane after Lucas got injured. And I don't know for sure. What I'm getting is basically Nuno's gone, look, Lucas is injured, Bergwijn's injured. We don't know if Son's going to be fit for Sunday. I need to get you off now because if you get an injury, we literally don't have a forward on Sunday. So I think that's what he's done.
That makes sense. In that case, I'll let him off. But no, it was... we started off good as well, didn't we? We looked sharp, and Dembele looked like...
As every game, Bob?
Sorry?
As every other game?
Yeah, as every other game, mate, yeah. And, you just mentioned it. You stand back, look at the bigger picture. We've never built, have we, Ben? We've never built, mate. We've always rebuilt in hope that it comes off. We got lucky with Poch. It's the same old boring story, but... Whenever we've been in the position to build where we should be taking advantage of our clout, of our progression, of a good manager, of good players playing at the peak, that's the best time. Fergie-esque, he's always bringing players when they were at the top. and we failed. And now we're just playing catch up. We're playing catch up for the 75 days we'd have had a manager, for the lack of depth, and sometimes I have to question myself, going on about Levy and Enoch and the lack of ambition, because I do question it can't be just that. It can't be just that. But it is. It is, and we all know it. And the fact that we have to think twice before we say it now to appease some of the fan base is bad, man. It's bad. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But hey, all we can do, mate, is support the guys who are on the field. But they're making it hard. They're just making it hard. For Doherty to be one of the best right backs, to have the second best stats behind a Trent when he came to us, not be able to put in a single cross of no.
Yeah.
It's beyond me how what happens to our players. Is there a curse? Remember, we always just talk about a curse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain, but I think what you're saying about Enoch and Daniel Levy, it's absolutely spot on. It's absolutely spot on because, we don't replace the players that leave. We just don't do it. We do it with kind of average players like Matt Doherty, who has come in to replace Moussa Dembele since leaving. You know what I mean? I know Tanguy Ndombele has come in, but he's not an out-and-out replacement for Moussa Dembele.
No.
Who's going to come in and replace Moussa Dembele? He was the one that took control of that midfield every single game under Pochettino.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Carl Walker, that dynamic duo of Danny Rose and Carl Walker. Fine, we got Reguilon now to replace Danny Rose. We don't know if he's going to reach those heights yet. We just don't know.
Yeah.
He could do. You never know. Right back, who have we got? Trippier was the one to replace Carl Walker. We binned him off. And we're probably regretting that right now because right now we've got Matt Doherty and Emerson Royale. Emerson Royale, fine, he could make it too. We've only played two games, 1.5 games right now. So I don't want to talk too much on him, but we don't replace them adequately, not enough. And it's just, we're not going to compete for top 4. We don't do that.
But if we're going to build for the future, then fuck it. Let's give the future a go. Just put all the youth in there. Because some of them will probably give a bit more than what the older players are. And if we're going down that route, if Don Paratici is constantly telling us it's great for the future, we're building for the future, then let's play for the future. Let's put the players in for the future. He'll play today. I felt sorry for him, man. I felt sorry for him because there were players out there who weren't playing. Højbjerg came on and he for me was probably our best player. Skippy just looks, is he fit? I don't know, man. He was getting overrun in midfield. And then you have to question the tactics. To be fair, he did go with a more attacking team, and he listened to. Obviously, he's got his own mindset, but a lot of fans were asking for the attacking team, for attacking a lineup, and he's gone for that. But I don't know, man. The way the Ndombele just let a player walk past him for the equaliser, he didn't even try. I don't know if you saw that for the first goal, their equaliser. It was non-existent.
He got breezed past, didn't he?
Yeah, either we build. If we're doing a rebuild, we need a refresh. We need to refresh it all. But unfortunately, we'll always be held back by the board. And I know it sounds like a broken record. I know there's going to be an element of a fan base there going, "Here we go on about Levy, on about." But it's a fact. They always go, "We're not Chelsea. We're not Man City. We're not fucking stupid. We know we're not." I've just done a preview for the Chelsea game on the Chelsea channel, just after watching this shit. And that was hard. And I try to give them as much banter as possible. But it was difficult. But at least Chelsea fans take ownership of the fact we're here, we're successful because we've got money being ploughed into the club. And they own it. And I'd love to be in that position. I'd love to be in that position.
You just reminded me, Bob. We got Lewis from Blues Fans TV coming into this very studio tomorrow. So
man,
I am not looking forward to that. I'm just not looking forward to that. But in terms of the weekend, Bergwijn and Moura out. I mean, who's going to play?
We don't know. Do we give Gil? Do we give Gil another 90 minutes? He's too young. We're going to knacker him out. Who have we got? Do we play with a narrow midfield and play a 3 midfield again? Then we've got the whole stuff again. I don't know, man. I don't know who we got left.
Gil and Kane.
Yeah.
Should have signed Adama.
Oh, don't, man. We should have kept Bale. We should have got Damsgaard. We should have got Messi and Ronaldo when we had the chance. we should have got McKennie. We should have got. I don't know if you've seen Tottenham Hot Links.
Yeah,
FC.
I saw that. Yeah.
Team of all the players we've been linked with. Mate, I don't know. I'm shitting it against Chelsea. We always turn up against the bigger teams. We did it against Man City. We can only hope for something similar.
Yeah, it's difficult though. It's very difficult. Do you at least give the team credit for the way they rallied in the last 15 minutes and gained control of the game under very difficult circumstances?
Should we be rallying against? To be fair, that's unfair. They are a good team, but it's the whole scoring a goal, sitting back, trying to hold on to. It was Jose-esque again, and if I can't be a hypocrite. You know what my feelings were towards Jose last season. I was calling him out from October. I can't sit here and say I'm happy with Nuno and give him time. Man, he's been a manager for 10 years of his life. He knows how to manage. He's been in the Premier League. He knows how to manage a Premier League team. So for me, do we give do we give some Brucey bonus for rallying for the last few minutes? Then. Maybe. I don't know.
But Bob, you got to have patience, because look at Pochettino when he first came into Spurs. Out of his first 10 games, he didn't win 7 of them. I think only won 3 of them. So, I mean, you never knew how that was going to turn out. And some Spurs fans were calling for Pochettino's head right at the beginning of his tenure as well. So I would say that a bit of patience is needed, especially right at the beginning of Nuno's tenure.
Yeah, it's a wait and see. It's just the sudden, the exhilarating performance and the 100% commitment against a Man City to where we are at the moment has been so evident and so prominent as well. That's what worries me, man. And I've still not got over the fact is that lineup against Palace. I cannot get the mindset why he thought that was a good idea. But you're right, mate. It's a wait and see, isn't it? He wins against Chelsea.
Oh, and he's a mastermind, yeah.
That's it. We'll be like, he's done it on purpose. And then we've got the Gooners a week later. Obviously, we've got the Wolves game in midweek. So who's to say? And like I say, we always perform. We have tended to perform of late against the bigger teams, and there's no bigger right now than Chelsea.
Yeah. Bob, absolute pleasure, my friend.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith,
Come
and
on,
we'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys. Legends.
Come on.
Nice one, Bob. I believe Leicester are 2-1 up against Napoli as things stand. 2-1. Napoli have just scored.
I saw
Leicester currently winning 2-1.
I saw the maddest picture today of Napoli fans. A coach of Napoli fans parked outside B&Q so the fans could get tooled up before going to the stadium.
They can get what?
Tooled up.
Tooled up?
Buy some tools for
my God.
Yeah, you know how mental these Napoli fans are.
Madness.
Literally a massive coach on all of them going into B&Q. Nuts.
Oh, my word. He has just scored a great goal, Osimhen. Look at that.
Victor Osimhen.
Yeah. Look at that volley on his on
paid
the side
enough for him, didn't they? Paid enough for him.
Lovely goals. 2-1. Napoli back in the game.
Let's bring on Dan THFC. How you doing, Dan? Yes, like all of us, mate. Like all of us.
Tell me about it.
But run me through your thoughts of the game.
Honestly, man, the only positives I have going into that Chelsea game is going to be that it's going to be like the first carbon dioxide free game. Like, that's the only positive I have. It's going to be like game 0 or something. That's the only positive there is going into that game. Look, when you thought there couldn't be any more players being injured, Lucas Moura is now injured. Probably the most energetic and passionate player we had on the field. He's off now. There's really no positives to go off for this one. Maybe Ndombele, he played decent. I mean, but he wasn't running back for the ball. His defending was like careless, but still. I mean, I don't expect Ndombele going back and tackling last-ditch tackles in football matches, but I just expect more from the team. I just expect way more from this team.
Yeah, but what side? What?
Someone just wrote in the comments saying a carbon-free games means Ndombele can't play.
Go on, carry on. I was just saying, How do we? We went for an attacking lineup today, and still we didn't. Apart from a decent start, we didn't look so creative throughout the game. Although obviously things went against him with injuries, and we ended up with a front three of Gil, Scarlett, and Emerson as a front three. So I can kind of give him a pass on that. But is it worrying that we still didn't create too many chances in that first half when we had a very attacking lineup out there?
Look, a lot of people expected a lot more creativity because Ndombele and Brian Hill were in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you have two creative players doesn't mean that you're going to start playing like Prime Barcelona. You know, if you put Xavi and Burley, that's not going to make them the most creative team in the world. You need a style that's going to be creative. And we weren't playing with that style today. We're just, we're letting them dominate the ball. Another thing is that, we went attacking, but we had, two right wingers. We had Bergwijn, which was a shocker that he even played. He was on the left. Brian Hill, which I'm not even sure where he was playing in this today. But Lucas Moura, which he looked to be playing like a right winger. It was confusing to see which players were playing in which place.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult because that kind of formation, with how we were playing, they kind of got lost within each other a lot of the time, I felt, and they weren't really getting. Maybe it's a structural thing. Maybe it just comes with time. That maybe given more time they played together, they can kind of figure out a rhythm. But at the moment, doesn't look great, does it?
Yeah, definitely not.
But what do you do on Sunday if they're all three, Bergwijn, Son and Lucas, if they're all out? What's your solution?
Pray.
You've done a lot of praying over the last 24 hours.
Can that even help us? I mean, we might need to call on everyone to pray to each and everyone's individual gods out there, because we need all of them to combine together and create some super force on Sunday.
And even with that, it'd be a miracle if we drew.
Exactly.
we need Lucas and Bergwijn to be inscribed in the Book of Life. Am I right, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, I don't know. You got everybody saying Romero and Sanchez and Lo Celso is coming back the day before the game, but you can't expect them to be playing like 100% football in Croatia. Obviously, they've sent someone to train them. That doesn't mean that they're training super hard.
There's a difference between being fit and being match fit, I think is what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah. I don't think they're match fit. Yeah, they could be
to be fair, sending someone out there will make sure, I reckon, because at least if they're doing it over Zoom, then you can't monitor them, but he's monitoring them. If there's someone physically
it's not like they haven't played for that long. It's not like they've been months and months out.
Well, of playing in the Copa. Yeah. Not Copa, I mean the kind of playing, not really.
No, but what I'm saying, even that, you know what I mean? It's like players can play and take 2 weeks off for an international break and still be fresh after it.
Yeah.
It's one more week.
Yeah, the only worry was if they were going to be in the hotel room, then it would have screwed them. Yeah. But they weren't in a hotel room. Exactly. So they should be all right to play, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just tactically more than anything. But apparently Nuno's moving the tactical training to Saturday.
Croatia.
Not to Croatia, to Saturday. So hopefully that will hopefully they can get up to speed then. But it's difficult to know how we're gonna play, how we're gonna affect things on Sunday, without because Bergwijn and Lucas as well. Not only are they important first team players, in terms of how we can beat Chelsea, we need that pace, and without them, we have no pace to threaten them on the counter attack, do we?
I think there is a solution, and there is a slight chance. Now Chelsea.
Come on, Dan, give it to us.
Okay, Chelsea versus Liverpool. They got a red card to Reece James.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, on the topic of Reece James, I hope he all the things that got stolen from him the other day, he recovers it. But on the topic on that he has a red card, so now they have a little bit of a gap on the right side. So if Brian Hill plays, and we play with a lot of runs down the left hand side, if we dominate down that left hand side, I think there's a chance, because I don't know who they've been starting in the Premier League. And right back, but it's not Reece James, and that's their number one right back. So
I think James is back. I think it was only a 1 game ban, wasn't it?
No, because he got a straight red card. If it's a yellow, a double yellow.
No, it depends what the straight red card is for. If the straight red card is for serious foul play, I believe it's only a 1 game ban. But if it's for a handball, deliberate handball, I believe it's only 1 game. I believe that's what I think.
I mean, I can tell you if he's out. I'll tell you if he's out. I can tell you when he's out in a second. Just give me 1 second.
I believe it's only one game, I think.
The Chelsea. No, he's fine. He'll play.
Oh god. Now there's no hope.
The only hope was you thinking James was still out, but he's not out.
And it looks as though N'Golo and Kante as well suffered a knock against Liverpool. He's probably going to be fit as well.
Of course. Every player. And when you want players to recover, you play against Tottenham.
Exactly. And if you're on a goal-scoring drought, play against Tottenham.
Exactly. If you're a debut player and you want to score your first goal in the Premier League, play against Tottenham.
So one is going to score a hat-trick on Sunday.
Oh, God, don't even. Dan, absolute pleasure. Thanks for calling in once again.
Thanks for having me.
See you in a bit,
by
Dan.
the way, just before you go, John in the comments called you Dan the Goat.
Oh, thanks, John.
See you later.
You've got your blushing, Dan.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, guys.
See you
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
All right.
And now it's time for Cody Mack. I think Cody's getting a bit jealous because he got called the GOAT last week on the fan show, and now Dan's getting called the GOAT.
No, Dan's the GOAT. I'm the beard. That's all there is to it.
Cody, how are you, man? Long time no speak.
Yeah, no, I'm all right. I thought I'd sneak on here. I was working from home today, so I had the game on the background, but I didn't really watch any of it because doing insurance work was more exciting than watching the game, man. Wasn't much to write home about, was it?
Yeah, can you send over some work for Sunday, please? I'd like to do some insurance work maybe instead of watching that on Sunday.
God.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's not going to be pretty, is it? It's funny because I was watching another YouTube channel and they were talking about the Chelsea game, and I think it was Tommy Talks Ball, and basically like in analyzing the Chelsea game in terms of possible outcomes, he was talking, well, whether we lose or whether we draw. And that was it. There was no like whether we win, like no option that came across his mind at all. So it's starting to look pretty bad for Nuno early on here. Nuno out, everybody except Son out, Ben and Sim out. We're just out FC now. You know what I mean? Like, but
very impatient we are, aren't we?
Well, I think it's because if you follow Tottenham closely and you look at the squad and you analyze it, it was plain to see that we were headed for a dark storm here in terms of the lack of creativity in our squad and the lack of scoring depth. And it's tough. As a Tottenham supporter, you want to get behind the team and you want to be positive and supportive and everything like that. But when you can see the problems and they don't get addressed, and then the problems rear their ugly head. I mean, let's face it, like the number of injuries and missing in action because of deportation and whatnot that we've sustained, it's fairly like fantastic scenario the last 10 days, considering where we were coming out of the Watford game, sitting top of the table, feeling pretty good. And now it's just, it's all turned to shit in 10 days. It's unbelievable, and the thing is, like, this is one thing I know we had this same attitude about the Europa last year, where fans somewhat scoffed at it, and even going into the two-legged tie with Zagreb, we were the favorites to win the competition. But one thing that gets overlooked is our lack of depth, and when we have that lack of depth, we end up having to play younger players, kids. And these teams, despite the fact that they're not in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, or in Rennes' case they are, but these teams that we look down our nose at as being lesser, these are teams filled with tough, strong men. And this same thing happened to us last year. Zagreb absolutely, they were completely physical with us in the home leg that we ended up winning, and we went away to Croatia the next week and ended up losing to them. And it was the same thing today. I like I said, I didn't see a lot of what went on. I don't know, were they playing dirty? Like, were some of the injuries, were they haphazard tackles? I don't know, but
very physical. I mean, I'll tell you, Emerson went down about 3 or 4 times, and it looked like he was going to be out for a while each and every one of those times.
And Tanganga went down as well.
And Tanganga, yeah.
And that's the thing. we look at these competitions like they're second-rate competitions, but these are teams full of men, and it's a lot it's a lot more important to them than it is to us. So when you have a team that is kind of looking down, and I don't think the team themselves are. You might have individuals. Jose said it in the press last year that there were players who were saying or thinking that they were too good to be playing in the the Europa League. So the Conference League is a step down. I mean, it's tough. It's a lose lose. It's the same discussion that you could have in terms of like whether we'll get bantered for winning or getting eliminated from the competition. But when you have players that are looking at this competition as nothing more than a run out, and your opponents are playing and putting blood, sweat, and tears and hard tackles and everything, these are the types of results that you were going to see. But yeah, it's just really disappointing, and it's really hard. It's really hard because you don't want to turn on the manager after 5 games, and I'm not going to. But at the same time, I don't blame people who are already starting to see that, on a 2-year deal, I don't see how things are going to change so drastically under Nuno in the next 10 months to warrant another year under him, if you know what I mean. He was given this 2-year deal. It's almost like a glorified placeholder in case another manager who's better suits us comes along. But yeah, it's difficult. I don't know a manager that could deal well with the number of injuries and missing players that we have. It's just a really difficult position that Nuno has been put in, and I feel for him.
Do you feel not only just because of that, and also the circumstances surrounding how, as you say, what's gone wrong since the whole international break? Even not just personnel wise, even during the game, Dyer gets injured against Palace and Tanganga gets sent off just when he's going to bring on Brian Hill. Today, Lucas gets injured, and then Bergwijn gets injured. Bergwijn gets injured, and Lucas gets injured, and the Lucas injury forces him to take Kane off as well because of all that happening. Does he deserve any sort of slack when all these things are happening?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he does for sure. But I think what's going on in terms of like the fan base just being, wanting to turn on him is that this is a fan base that is placing the burden of negative football that's gone on here for 2+ seasons at the feet of Nuno, who hasn't had a fair shot. It's not fair to be critical of Nuno that we're playing this negative defensive football, even though some of it, obviously, like some of the decision making, especially the Palace game, would have been questionable. But we're putting the blame for everything that's happened in the last 2 years. There's no other outlet for us to like express our anger towards the way that we're playing, except at the manager. And I don't know if we have the personnel to play attacking football. Um, it, Jose multiple times in his pressers defended himself as and you could see it when there weren't fans in the stadium. There were time and time again he was saying attack, push forward, press. But the one guy who called in, I think his name was Victor, the guy from Sweden. He makes an excellent point about how ineffective our press has become, and how that really makes it difficult, because when you can't press, you slowly get backed into your own side of the field, and that's what we end up seeing, where we're on our back foot all the time. And I posted a starting lineup on Twitter the other day, and I called it the lineup that we need that we will never see. And the front four in a 4-2-3-1 was Bergwijn, Lucas, and Kane playing behind Son in the 10. And as much as I love Harry Kane, I'm sorry, he just holds us back from a press standpoint. You see it every game. Like he just doesn't have that speed, that athleticism that he had under Poch. He's a different player now. He's much more suited, and you see how far he has to drop back just to touch the ball anyway. So yeah, and the difference between our press against Manchester City compared to our press since Kane's come back into the team, it's clear for everyone to see. And yeah, I mean, if we can't press and we can't play a high line, I don't see how we can play attacking football. We're kind of hemmed into playing this defensive and counter-attacking football, and even then, with the lack of depth in the squad and some of the injuries that we've sustained, we just don't have quality. We just don't have quality. So it's not looking very good for Tottenham Hotspur right now.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with any of the points you made. It really is. But Cody, absolute pleasure having you on the channel once again. And maybe when we start winning again, you'll get your song back.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I won't hold my breath, but as always, excellent job by you guys. Appreciate
Thank you, man.
having me on. Yeah, take care. Glory, glory.
Glory, glory.
We'll
Come
try,
on.
we'll try to get some glory.
Cody, speak to you soon, bro.
Take care.
Nice one, Cody. Always good to get Cody on. Puts a smile on my face.
Any more left? No. All right. So that is the end of the fan show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today for another session of Tottenham therapy. I mean, how many sessions of Tottenham therapy have we done since
Too many.
Since Poch has left?
Pretty much every week. There's always
Literally,
Tottenham, just constant therapy.
'Cause even when we win, you know, there's still like people that are moaning.
Literally.
Oh,
2-2,
wow.
Leicester.
Napoli have just equalised.
In the 89th minute, is
Wow.
it? 88th minute.
Napoli have just equalised 2-2 against Leicester. But anyway, that is the end of the fan show. We'll see you tomorrow morning for another episode of Good Morning Tottenham. A host of content coming your way tomorrow. And we might have a special guest for you in the studio tomorrow morning.
Looking forward to
well.
that. Looking forward to that. So stay tuned.
Exactly. Stay tuned. Tune in tomorrow morning. We'll see you all tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.